Hello, welcome back to Flight Sim World, and you join me here at Rishiki Airport, I think it's called. Rishiki Airport in Japan. Echo Golf, no it's not Echo Golf, that's Britain. It's Romeo Juliet Echo Romeo is the ICAO code for this place. We're on an island out somewhere near Japan, so you can see, and it's a bit of an early morning, slightly misty, so the actual visibility isn't absolutely brilliant, but it's not too bad. It's good enough for us to fly, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing today as the sun rises. And in this episode I am going to be talking about DLC. Now, I did a review on a DLC aircraft not a DLC aircraft, a DLC map and interface last week, and you know, I had a mixed feelings on them. I felt some parts of it were good, other parts of it were really bad. And obviously this is a DLC aircraft right here that I'm looking at. This is the Just Flight Piper PA-28 Arrow 3, which I think is absolutely incredible. Plus I have looked at other DLC, for example the Big Bear scenery for Big Bear Airport in California. So there is that as well. I'm just going to be talking in general about what my feelings on the DLC that are coming out for Flight Sim World whilst it's in an early access state. How is this helping Flight Sim World? How is this hindering Flight Sim World? What the general thoughts that I've been getting from the vibe, from the comments that I've been getting. What's that vibe coming in? And you know what I think of the overall quality. So there is that, and obviously this airport was requested. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking off from here. We're going to be flying runway heading for not too long, and then we're going to turn. We're going to do a loop around that mountain over there. Once we get the loop around the mountain, we're going to be flying something akin to, I'd say, probably a heading of 080 on a radial. I'll try and get the 080 radial out from the local VOR over here. We're also going to tune in another VOR, so I'll tune in this VOR right now, which is 114.6. I'll tune this up here, and we'll set up the radial. So the radial I am going to be wanting is going to be 080, I think that'll be the one I want. Then after a short while, so you can see here we're 0.4 nautical miles away. It's just literally, it's just there. That's where the VOR is, where those lights are. That's where the beacon is. So we've got that, and then we're going to probably be jumping on to 115.3, which is close to our destination airport, that VOR, and we'll join up on the, that might not be active just yet. It will activate itself soon, I am sure. 115.3, and we'll probably be looking at grabbing, which radial should we be grabbing for that? Not the 90. I mean, we're probably looking at grabbing the 120 radial for that, I guess. Which way are we going to be landing? It's a good question. For this, we're taking off like that. Maybe we want to, actually, you know what radial we want to fly? We want to fly the 280 radial inbound from there. Let me think. I'm just trying to work this out as best as I can in my head. 27 is there, 26, 25. Let's go for the 24 radial. We'll fly that in a little bit, and then we're going to tune in the ILS and land on the ILS. But anyway, let's get ready to take off. The time is 6:53. One stage of flaps. Controls seem to be working fine. That's good. 6:53 is the time of takeoff. We'll actually start a timer on here to see how long this actually takes. So we'll start the timer now. Mixture is rich, fuel pumps are on, everything seems good to go. Pitot heat is on, all our lights are on. It's up to takeoff. We'll take off, and then we'll see exactly what happens. So we'll leave that on nav 1 for now, because that's the one we want. $65 knots, 70 knots, 75. There's my rotate speed for today again. Positive rate, flaps in, gear up. Like I said, we're going to fly runway heading just for a short time as we climb up. It is a winter's morning, and we'll trim this aircraft to climb so we don't have to put in too much input on it. And you can see the other VOR has now just come alive as well as we've gone up into the air. Pretty nice. Let's have a look at out the window to see what we get. Which is a good view, I'd say. I'm sure we're going to get much nicer views very, very shortly. The landing runway of choice today is going to be most likely runway 24, I think. I don't actually know the runway of our... We're going to have to use the ILS to work it out. It's the landing airport is, I think it's called Wakene? Wakene? It's a Japanese term, obviously. I think that's the name of the airport, and it's going to be the ICAO code is Romeo Juliet Charlie Whiskey. Alright, so we're going to get a climb going to, I'd say, let's get it going to about 2,000 feet. We're about 1,000 feet right now. We're going to be obviously in cloud, but we're doing a loop around the mountain, as I said. So we can actually start the loop right now. We've got a road here that we can follow. And since this is a mixture of VFR and IFR, let's turn towards this road. Like so. So yeah, 3D, third-party DLC. Third-party DLC. What's been really going on? We're going to follow around the island as we climb. Obviously, we're going to lose sight of it very soon. But third-party DLC. What's going on with all this? Why is there such a kerfuffle going on? I think that's probably the best word for it. Why is there so much hate? Or similarly, I mean, there is some like for it as well. But what is it about this third-party DLC that has got people in a bit of a fight or a bit of an argument as to whether this is a good idea or not? My personal opinion, I don't think it is the best of ideas in some ways, but I will explain where I think it's a good idea and where I think it's not. I'm actually using an aircraft with the completely incorrect registration, but that's okay. So where do I think it is a good idea? Okay, first of all, this is a DLC aircraft that I'm flying right here, and I find this aircraft is absolutely fantastic. You know what? I kind of want to stay at this height. It's a really nice height to fly at, around 2,000 feet. Even here, as we fly through the clouds, I think it's just going to be a bit of fun. Because we can see part of the ground, you can see the mountain over there. It's really nice to see. What is that over there? I'm actually going to go see what that is. It's gone now. Must have been the sun. So yeah, what has got everyone, you know, in this sort of a argument, in this debate about the DLC of Flight Simulation? Now, we've all seen Flight Simulation before. What happened there? My lights just switched off again. I hate it when that happens. Allow me to switch on and off the lights. Come on. Dovetail. Just Flight. Dovetail. All of you guys. Just allow me to do that. It's my control, my aircraft. So what the problem is that we're used to seeing the likes of PMDG on Flight Sim World, or the X-Plane equivalent. I've forgotten what the names of them are. They do some really nice aircraft as well. We're used to seeing is it Carenado? We're used to seeing the likes of them. We're used to seeing the likes of Orbex doing great graphical scenery, or for, if it's X-Plane you're talking, I think, is it Ortho XP? Ortho XP doing amazing scenery, a photorealistic scenery for the ground, stuff like that. Ground environment extreme, we're used to seeing stuff like that. We're used to seeing aircraft camera movements and stuff like chase plane, stuff like chase plane. We're used to seeing. We're also used to seeing aircraft, like I said, with the PMDG or the Concorde X by Flight Sim Labs did that wonderful Concorde X. You've got that to look at. We've got the A320 by Flight Sim Labs as well, who are doing the A320 in Flight Sim. That actually looks really nice. It really does look quite nice, doesn't it? Moments like that, Flight Sims are worth it. So, you know, you've got all of this, all these aircraft or all these add-ons that we are very used to. We're very used to seeing these, and we're happy to pay for some of these. You know, we're like, these are good add-ons. These are good add-ons. They do a lot of good stuff. for us. What we're not generally happy to see are the likes of, for example, the view and slew that we saw the other day. Nobody was all too happy to see that. I haven't really seen much positivity when it's come to that particular DLC. I myself was pretty harsh with it, and I thought it wasn't a very good DLC in my personal opinion. I'm just going to switch it over to see how far away we are. 30 nautical miles, that's fine, plenty of time to talk. You know, I was fairly harsh myself with how that was and what I thought of it, because I wasn't all too impressed with it. On the other hand, the moving map one, which is made by the same company, I thought the moving map one wasn't all too bad. You know, I thought that was fairly good. It wasn't brilliant, but it was fairly good. There are uses for it. Do I have either of them installed at this present moment in time? No. I uninstalled the view and slew, and I uninstalled the moving map, because although I could find uses for it, it's just the integration on it wasn't good enough for me. It just was not good enough. I did not like the integration on it. So that was my choice on that. I was like, you know, that's what I want to do. You know what I feel is going to be right? I should go for 90 degrees on that. I think I'm going to go for 90 degrees on that. And, you know, I felt that was my choice. That was really my choice. It's very cloudy here. That's why we're using IFR. Because we can't really fly around too much. I mean, that's a very nice view. That is a very nice view. So I'm just doing a lap of the this thing, whatever it's called. How am I getting that so wrong? The island. It's a very nice view, I'll admit that. Just taking a look from here. Pretty good views. But anyway, so yeah, it's that sort of thing that I didn't like. I didn't like the idea of the view and slew, because it was an interface that I felt was unneeded. On the other hand, I like this aircraft. The problem here is, and this is my opinion and my opinion only, and perhaps if anyone from Flight Sim World is watching this, maybe you guys will either agree, disagree, or clarify. Now, I know you guys have talked about DLC only recently, and you talked about DLC at the Flight Sim Con that I was at, and I can understand your reasoning for it, which is something that I'm going to put across here as well. So I'm going to go through the reasoning a bit before I talk about why I think certain things are perhaps not as good or not as right as they should be in my opinion. So the reasoning they do this is, or the reason behind it is, the SDK, for example. It allows partners who are making third-party DLCs, like for example FS Flight Control or Just Flight, or is it it's not called Blue Sky, is it? No, Blue Sky is not the right one. Whoever's making the military Warhawk aircraft that I can't wait to fly, you know, it's those people are very, very interested in the likes of getting an SDK working, which is, you know, that makes sense, because you want to get an SDK working. Without an SDK, you're not going to be able to do much. The problem is that at the same time, you're starting to alienate your base, your sim base, because they understand that this is an early access title. I understand that this is an early access title, and that's why I don't mark things down or speak negatively for things like cloud pop-in or stuff like that. It's all something that's being worked on. It's something that's being built. You know, I love this True Sky. I think this is incredible how this works. But obviously there are bugs with it, and it's only step 1 here, and I can't wait to see steps 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, whatever steps are still going to be around. The problem that I find personally is when you start getting DLC such as that View and Slew, which essentially, I am going to be completely honest, I will be completely honest, I could have developed that View and Slew one very, very easily. I really could have. Yes, okay, I am a programmer, I know a little bit about programming, fair enough. You know, that's something that I have as an advantage to me. I have that advantage. I'm not going to say that it's an advantage that perhaps, you know what, I really want to get a better. Okay, let's just stick with 90. I'm going to stick with 90 for now. Yes, I have an advantage there. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll admit that I have an advantage in that field, that I could probably have programmed that myself as the island starts to disappear in the clouds. However, here's the other issue. Should I switch over to nav 2? Yeah, we've got plenty. Here's the other issue. It isn't that I've developed it for myself. It isn't that I did it myself. What I've done is I haven't personally purchased it, but somebody has purchased this. Somebody has clearly purchased this with the intention of it being a certain type of quality, a certain type of product. So somebody has gone ahead and purchased it thinking, yes, it's going to be in a certain way, it's going to work in a certain fashion. And what they've received is, and I'm going to be honest, a very poor quality product there. There is no beating around the bush on that one. It was a pretty poor quality product. That's not to say that the moving map was a poor quality product. I just felt that was a poor quality implementation of it. But it doesn't inspire confidence in your customers. It doesn't. And it doesn't inspire confidence. I don't think anyone who's watching this video is going to say that that inspired confidence. This Just Flight aircraft certainly did. It certainly did inspire confidence. Yes, there's still bugs. For example, if I switch the panel lights off, you're going to see that outside my nav lights switch off. And that's no good. I want my nav lights on, so why do I have to have panel lights on for nav lights on when my nav lights are clearly there? There's a bug. Just Flight, please fix that. Please go ahead and fix that. However, something like this in an early access state doesn't, even though there's a legitimate reason behind it for the reasons of SDKs and stuff like that, it doesn't inspire all too much confidence in the product at hand. Obviously, I love this aircraft. I really do. I think this is the best so far of all DLC. This is the absolute best DLC that I have seen. I really think that. Right, I think this is the best DLC I have seen, and I am really happy with this DLC. Right, what's the heading that I need to fly now? Not entirely sure what heading I'm supposed to fly. I think it's supposed to be 70. I think. Yeah, I think that approximately is going to be the heading I want. So, you know, I love this aircraft, and I've been flying this aircraft. I've got about 10 hours in this aircraft now. Fine, great. However, at the same time, someone who just sees this aircraft and sees an incomplete sim is going to go, well, hang on, it's this is no good. You know, this isn't good at all. This is a problem to me. Right, I'm going to actually line up very soon on the ILS. Once I get to 10 nautical miles, I'll try and line myself up on the ILS. They're going to look at it and go, you know, I'm not feeling this aircraft all too much. It's not everything I want, or, you know, I want to see more core features in the game, or I want to see a bit more core gameplay. I don't want to see lots and lots of payware coming up, and you know, that's understandable as well. And I actually, as a consumer, I'm probably in that boat. I want to see more core gameplay. Yes, it's taking time. You know, I look forward to seeing dynamic lights and stuff like that. The problem here is, I find that if you're going to be releasing any DLC, it's got to be high quality DLC. It can't be the likes of what we saw last week. It can't be the likes of that view and slew. Moving map, sure, if it had better integration, that would have been absolutely fantastic. I really did like the way that that actually worked. It just didn't have the integration I wanted on it. So that needs to be worked on. But something like view and slew we can't see again, and I hope there isn't another DLC that comes out that looks like that, simply because it's not going to inspire any confidence in anybody. And for third party DLC, this is not the precedent you want to set. That's not the precedent you want to set. It's showing that you can get a wide range of quality in your DLC, and that's bad. I can see a lighthouse up ahead, and that's bad. If it's going to show you have a wide range of quality, that's not good. What you want to do is you want to show that you have nothing but quality. I'm actually going to start getting myself lined up for the localizer now. You want to show that you have only the highest of qualities, like this aircraft, very high quality. You want to show that this is what you're going to get, nothing else. Yeah, if you're going to get anything else, it's not going to be any poor quality at all, and everything is integrated smoothly and very well done. That's what you need to show, and I think that is going to give everybody who plays Flight Sim World, or who is in any way interested in Flight Sim World, it's going to give them a reason to wish to play this title, and to wish to actually, I suppose, what's the right term? Right. I need to get on the localizer here. I genuinely don't know what the... I think it's runway... Ooh, don't go up. There it is. We're going to have to give thoughts to the... What's the right term again? We're going to have to give thoughts to the quality of the products. You know, the quality of your products has to be exemplary. It really does have to be absolutely exemplary. If you're not going to get high quality products, they shouldn't be released. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion. Again, you know, everybody has an opinion. Someone might not agree with me, and that's absolutely fine. This Just Flight aircraft, I love. I'm happy that this was released. It's really well done. I don't like some of the DLC that were released. Big Bear Airport, I found that it's very nicely done. It is very nicely done. However, someone in the comments asked me to check the whether there was any winter textures on it. So I went into a winter scene, took off from the airport, and there's no winter textures. So, you know, what's sort of going on there? That's no good. It's no good having an airport that can only work in summer. You need, especially for that kind of price. I feel like revising my review of that and saying, you know, it's not only is it frame heavy, which is understandable with all that, is it Terraflora or whatever they called it. Very nice, you know, it looked very nice. In fact, it looked stunning. It really did. But the fact that you can only use it in summer is disappointing, because all the trees around it were green, the grass was green, everything was green around it, and then suddenly everything went to white, which is, you know, that's confusing, very confusing to say the least. So there is that's something that needs to be perhaps taken into account. You need to think about consumers in that fashion. Yes, I do want to see more DLC, but I want to see more core sim, and perhaps, I mean, if I was in the position of Dovetail Games, after some of the reviews that I've been getting, I would say perhaps reconsider the DLC policy and maybe get people to work with you more on the inside and say that, look, we're going to work on this, we're going to work on this, we're going to work on this, but we're not going to be releasing any DLC until the time is right, which might be, you know, in a few months' time as opposed to now. Especially with regards to add-ons like maps and stuff, because the problem is there, you've gone and brought yourself a map. Flight Sim 10 had a map as default. The the likes of X-Plane has a map as default that works like that, and then, you know, that maybe that had a few extra features, but it was nothing to warrant a wow factor, and that was the problem that happened right there. That was basically the problem with the entire that entire DLC. It was that wow factor, that oh dear, it's not quite what I was looking for. Even for me, it wasn't quite what I was looking for. And you can see the outer markers just come alive there. Very nice. Shows that we're some, I think it's some 5 miles from the airport, I believe, from the runway. So, you know, that's, you've got to take that into account. I know this has just been a bit of a ramble about third-party DLC and what I'm thinking of it. I've obviously been busy flying in a completely new area as well, so maybe some of my points didn't make all too much sense. But what I feel is that there is a stigma already being attached to Flight Sim World that needs to be addressed. It really needs to be addressed, because you're going to lose people if it's not addressed. That's not saying to stop making DLC, that's not saying to stop the hard work that you guys are already doing, because they are doing hard work. You know, I have seen what they are doing. What it is to stop is to stop saying the likes of, you know, poor DLC or DLC that's just rushed out, that seems to not add anything beyond what would be a core feature in another sim. And that's the worry. That is the genuine worry here, as I bring it into land here. And if that can be alleviated, yeah, if that can be sorted out, if that can be fixed, then perhaps we're looking at a very bright future for the likes of Flight Sim World. And I would love to see a bright future for Flight Sim World, because, you know, I think it's a really promising simulator. I really do. That's why I make videos on it. It's promising to me, and I want to see it succeed, because I want to play it more. I genuinely want to play it more. It's fun. It really is quite fun. And obviously I've been waiting for a sim like this, but I'm also looking at the likes of Prepared, who, yes, they've got a much bigger head start on development, but they are, you know, their policy or the way they work is somewhat different. So, you know, that's just me. That's just a bit of a ramble on third-party DLC as I bring this aircraft into land as best as I can. That was a really good landing. I'm kind of proud of myself there. I really am. But you know, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Flight Sim World. Obviously, all community updates, all hopefully all DLC, all that kind of stuff will be shown on this channel. So you guys have an idea of what it's like before perhaps you purchase it, or you get an idea of what Flight Sim World are working on as and when those updates come out, so you can see what's going on. I really am looking forward to the development of Flight Sim World, and this isn't a direct knock against them. I just think there's maybe there is a section of their audience that is now starting to get a little bit worried about what the future is going to hold. And you know, that does include myself, and it's not because of the DLC, it's because of understanding the quality perhaps of DLC, or the actual what would be the right word, the actual maybe frequency of DLC, or the fact that maybe that's being pushed on more than updates are, at least in the eyes of the public. So you've got to look at it from the eyes of the public. Obviously internally these guys are probably working incredibly hard to do a whole bunch of stuff, which is absolutely great, and I look forward to seeing more and more of their stuff. But anyway, do support me on Patreon. Link to that is in the description box below. I'm rapidly getting towards 2,000 subscribers, so if you want to support me on there, that would be really appreciated, and it's going to help me out a huge amount. And also you'll get access to my Discord server, where I have been talking about future plans for the channel, and you'll be able to put your inputs on that, as well as any ideas I am going to have. So do go check that out, and hopefully I'll see you guys in another episode of Flight Sim World. But also do go check out my Flight Sim tutorials. You'll be able to find them on my channel under the Ground Up Advanced Flight Tutorials. There is a playlist, so do go check that out if you are learning or wish to learn how to fly or more about flying. The latest lesson, which should be up tomorrow, will be a first sort of cross-country flight where we'll be flying from airport to airport, so that should be quite interesting, and hopefully very fun as well. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you guys next time in Flight Sim World.